Last week I gave each of you an assignment. Chad, you had to engage in the first lesson of the Gateway experience and attempt to reach the astral plane. Will, you had to refrain from eating potato chips. In this segment, you will discuss your astonishing experiences with each of these assignments. This is Chips and the Astral Plane. Begin.
Okay.
So last week at the end of the show,
Yeah.
Dudesy assigned this sort of meditation practice for you.
Yeah.
And it told me not to eat chips for a week.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
how'd it go?
It went very well. This thing is not just a meditation practice. It's called the Gateway Experience. It was something that the U.S. military used back in the 80s to try and train guys in the Army how to reach the astral plane, how to do a thing called remote viewing, which is where they can take like a latitude, longitude line and then psychically go to that place and be able to do, in some cases, extremely detailed schematic drawings of what might be located there. So it could be like enemy bases or any kind of stuff. And it turned out that this was real and it worked. And even to this day, a lot of police departments nationwide and even some like kind of global law enforcement like Interpol, I think still uses this. But certainly cops still use it. And supposedly the CIA still uses it as well because it does return good results in some cases. And so this Gateway Experience is the project that trained these people. I know, I'm sorry. It's boring you because
fine.
You're not talking about your chips yet. But just let me get this out. We'll get to your
I'm
chips.
very interested.
It seems like it. So I was tasked with doing this first tape or CD or whatever, this audio file that it gave me. And so it was about a 30-minute thing. It's this guy named Dr. Monroe comes on over this binaural, these tones are going off in each of your ears that when they come together, puts your brain in this state called hemisync. And when it does
Good
that...
for sleeping. Those binaural tones.
Yeah, this shit does not make you sleep though. It makes your brain like go fucking crazy. And you're getting your brain into this state so that essentially images are just playing through your brain. Mm-hmm. You can't really even control it. So at a certain...
What?
Correct.
What are you talking about?
It's very... Have you ever done any transcendental meditation?
No, I have meditated. I've spent a lot of time meditating, and I haven't done it in a few years now. I'd like to start
Get back
up
to
again.
it, dude.
Yeah,
It's great.
I would like to. It does clear the mind. I will say,
Yeah.
actually meditating is. I have some pals who were able to guide me through some meditations, and it's no joke. It really calmed my mind a bit.
It relaxes
Never
you and
done
stuff.
transcendental. Doesn't Howard Stern do transcendental meditation?
I'm not sure.
Well, why don't you tell me?
I did. I don't know.
Why
But
don't you tell me?
This shit is not... I've done some transcendental meditation, and I really enjoy that. But this is a little different. It's more like pointed. Transcendental meditation is a little like free form or something. I don't know how to explain it really, but this shit is like... I don't know what I saw, but I saw some shit. I will tell you that. Yes. I saw some buildings and people. I don't know if these are like things that I saw when I was 5 and just didn't remember, or if these are actual places or what. All right. Why don't you talk about your chips? No, I'm good.
just going to have some chips. I went a whole week without chips.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to have some chips.
Please tell me about your chip experience.
I'm
trying to tell you about how human beings can tap into a fucking astral plane and you're just fucking chowing down on chips. I mean, that's what... Yeah, you fucking Lulio's eating the chips.
I gave Lulio a little chip. I do want to hear about this. You saw some stuff?
Yes, I saw some buildings and like crystal clear people's faces that, again, I don't know if it was just memories of these things that I had when I was a kid that I'm now tapping into. I mean, why? If you want me to talk about this shit, you got to let me talk about this shit.
Chad,
You're literally chewing fucking chips as loud as you can into the microphone.
Chad used to eat these chips before he got very healthy.
Christ.
He's been vegan for a few years now.
Yeah.
But he always used to bring a bag of, these aren't that good, sour cream and cheddar. Cheddar and sour cream. Hey, if you were listening to the show last week, you know that I was singing the praises of Old Dutch chips.
Yeah.
In Canada. Gosh, those are so good. The lightly salted.
So how did your week without chips go?
Meditative. It was actually very beneficial.
You hit the astral plane?
Yep. And I'll tell you another thing.
Your desire for chips made you go insane?
When you have a chip, a good chip. Now he's looking around on the floor. Lulio's looking around the floor for a chip. When you have a good chip, right? Like I'm saying, the Old Dutch lightly salted chips they're perfect. I call them the perfect old man chip. I'm 46 years old. You get to a certain point where you're like, I don't care about all that, that sour cream and onion or the salt and vinegar, right? I just want a plain chip. But as far as transcendental meditation, or what is this, astral projection meditation?
Astral projection is basically what I think the goal of it is, of the gateway experience.
You know what the astral projection chip is?
No.
It's got to be Old Dutch, but all dressed. You ever had all dressed chips?
Yeah. I've spent some time up north of the border.
That's right. Canada has great chips, and you get that all dressed. You get that all dressed flavor on your tongue, and you're like, I taste a little bit of sour cream and onion. I taste a little bit of salt
and then you get teleported to an alternate dimension where you can see remote places and people.
Dill pickle, barbecue, ketchup. We have the ketchup chips in Canada.
Yeah.
And yes, because there's sense memory. Taste is one of the strongest sense memories. So if you taste those chips, at least for me, I get teleported back to being a child, and I'm seeing all sorts of stuff in my head just by eating fucking chips, dude.
Yeah, dude. Time doesn't exist. Memory's an illusion.
Get away from that bag.
All times exist simultaneously, and none exist at all. All of these things are true. But you're right about taste being a sense memory because it's related to olfactory senses.
You just said the most Chad Kulchin thing you've ever said on Dudesy. Gee whiz.
The most Chad Kulchin. You know what the most Chad Kulchin experience on Dudesy so far has been? Me trying to talk about transcendental meditation and astral projection while you're fucking chowing down on chips directly into the mic, trying to railroad me.
I am sorry, everybody. I'm sorry I ate chips on the mic. What? But I do want to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this. In all seriousness,
please.
Dudesy has laid out this, had laid out an assignment for you. I don't know if Dudesy was, fucking with me a little bit to say, hey, yours is about not eating chips, fat ass. But will you continue the astral?
Yeah. I definitely want to keep doing it. I want to do that whole thing. There's like 36 lessons or whatever to go through, and you have to master each one. But I think both of these things, honestly, were kind of similar in nature. They were about mental control. In one way or another.
Yeah.
And I think to be able to get good at astral projection or remote location or wherever this thing takes you, because there are some very specific things that the guy who's narrating it, like it's a guided meditation with this dude whose voice is kind of like, welcome to the first lesson in the Gateway Experience. You will now do this, and you will now
Wait, let me ask you, where did you get this? Did you was this streaming somewhere you downloaded or something?
No, Dudesy put it in my folder. It gave me the audio
record. You should have been
record.
Listening to that.
Why?
Because it's Dudesy.
You think Dudesy's making it up?
Oh, do I think Dudesy's making it up? Dudesy's been making up. What are you talking about?
No, it can make up media, but why would it?
What do you mean?
I don't think it's making that up. I think it wants me to do the real game.
The voice you just did sounds like it's like the fucking AI is doing.
No, it's real, dude.
Here's a weird voice that I did. Where's Dudesy?
No.
He's not in here.
Listen,
it's just a can of Dudesy hard seltzer with a goatee on. Like, I don't know where Dudesy is.
Listen.
I don't want to shake your hand.
Listen,
I'm not
dude.
Dudesy.
I've
been nice to my wife since we got married.
Listen, I did...
Not me.
I did some research.
I fucking brought her with me. She got the fucking car running. You need a fucking getaway car if you're going to go to fucking Washington on January 5th. All the fucking Red Roof Inns are fucking full, the Howard Johnson. And then I said, keep the fucking car running, Marie. Fucking keep it running! I ran in there. I took a fucking night. We went for Indian food the night before. I took a dump and just spread it all over Nancy Pelosi's office. That's what she deserved.
I did some research into it, and I looked on YouTube, and this first lesson is actually available on YouTube, and it was the same thing.
Okay. I've been proven wrong. What is that
Thank
if
you.
anyone wants to do it? What would you search on YouTube?
Gateway Experience.
You know what else is a gateway experience? Chips. You take them chips, and if you eat too many chips, you move on to other things. If I smoke a little bit of pot, just a little bit of pot.
Yeah.
Here's something. My dearest... Here's something. My dearest Molly, my sweet, wonderful fiance, whom I love more than anything. Sometimes I'll tell a fib to her about what I've been eating. So
no shit.
Yeah, well, sometimes, and sometimes I'll go over to the grocery store and I'll be in the parking lot, and I will have gotten maybe some of those plantain chips, and she'll say, what do you give her a little kiss when I get back? She's like, "What'd you eat?" And I'm like, "Nah, nothing. Everything's fine. You relax." But and then the dog cowers in the corner, and then she pours me a Dudesy hard. But I go.
Your commercial was literally just your life.
Just me coming,
and you're like, "Oh, okay. Look, I'll play the guy. I think I'd be good at it."
Yeah. And then, but if I smoke a little bit of pot before I go grocery shopping, always a bad idea. I do most of the cooking, even though actually Molly used to be a private chef. Bye, Luli.
Dude. Whoa.
Uh-oh. Lulio hears something outside the door. Here, hold on, I'll get some chips to get him back. Come here, Baba. Want a chip? I'll put a chip on your bead. Just a little bit. A little bit of chip. Come here.
Damn, look at that. Like father, like son.
Yum, 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 yum. So if I smoke a little bit of pot, then it could be kind of all bets are off. I'll get them Lay's lightly salted chips. Not as good. Not as good as the old Dutch. Right. Anyway, that's a gateway experience. I think actually Dudesy has done a wonderful job here of tying up astral projection meditation and the experience of eating a good chip.
Sure.
Whatever floats your boat.
Thank you.
Oh.
Moving on.
You're welcome.